Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. In 1 month, the world will remember the 40th anniversary of the nationwide strikes that gave rise to the Solidarity movement. Millions of Poles peacefully opposed the communist system. Before the August agreements were reached, Poland was engulfed by a wave of strikes, which began in Lublin, where 54,000 workers dared to oppose totalitarian rule and demand workers' rights.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to once again thank participants of those days, those events, of the hot July of 1980. It was hot then? Right. I remember that July. I remember the first time that the breath of freedom was felt all over Poland. The earth was trembling and it was clearly visible that this stone thrown by the workers at that time caused a certain avalanche, which once initiated could not be stopped, even despite the later introduction of martial law. Once again, on behalf of the Republic of Poland, I would like to thank all the participants of these events in Lublin, Świdnik, the Lublin region of those days. I want to thank those 170 companies and over 50,000 workers who showed great courage and determination on their way to freedom. This freedom would not have existed without that Lublin July. Once again, I thank you for this. Just as before the premiere in the theatre, the general rehearsal marks a fundamental step, a milestone on the way to that premiere. So without the Lublin July, there would have been no Polish August later, no solidarity. All of Poland thanks you for this. God bless you.
Polish authorities and the health ministry have reminded the country that despite the easing of lockdown regulations, the coronavirus epidemic is far from over. The latest figures are the number of infected, 43,065, up 443 today. The number recovered, 32,753, up 334 from yesterday. And the number of deaths, 1,671, up 7 today. A German bomb from the Second World War weighing 500 pounds or approximately 250 kilograms has been found during construction work on the Warsaw metro. Before removing the bomb, city authorities evacuated 1,500 people from nearby buildings. If an explosion had occurred, it would have destroyed an area within a 1,200-metre radius.
Traces of the Second World War have survived on many Warsaw buildings to this day. After the 1944 uprising, the Germans almost completely destroyed the city, libraries, paintings, and the livelihoods of 1 million inhabitants. Underground, the remains of this conflict still haunt us today. The 500-pound bomb discovered yesterday was buried in concrete, with engineers having to use heavy construction equipment to remove it. Following removal, the bomb went to Torun, where it was detonated at an army training ground.
On Saturday, Poland will remember the participants of the Warsaw Uprising of 1944 for the 76th time. During the ceremony, we will be able to meet the dwindling number of fighters who have survived to the present day. Poles will also remember the graves of those who are considered to be forever young, those who died in the fight for freedom.
Today, the graves of Home Army soldiers from the Zwichel group were cleaned, thanks to the initiative of Anna Sharejko from the Odra Niemen Association. Today's event at the Warsaw Powązki Military District is the 5th in a row and is taking place in connection with the approaching 76th anniversary of the Warsaw Uprising. Any private person who joins us today is welcome, mainly because participation in such events comes from the goodness of the heart, and we can above all develop patriotic values. It is very important to clean these graves because they are not rented or visited by cleaning companies. They are completely private graves, often forgotten, as the families of these insurgents have already passed away. Almost 300 crosses and almost 150 graves. This year's initiative was once again supported by soldiers of the Territorial Defence Forces, this time from the 43rd Light Infantry Battalion in Braniewo. Since the beginning of our brigade, we have been trying to support all patriotic initiatives, as well as organising many events ourselves. We are in Warsaw for the first time this year because we are from Warmia and Mazury. For the first time as the 4th Warmian Mazurian Territorial Defence Brigade, we arrived in such a large group, 40 soldiers who willingly arrived to commemorate the heroes of the fights for our free Poland. We, as the 4th Brigade, are taking part in the cleaning of the graves of Warsaw insurgents for the first time, but certainly not for the last time. The best thing about today's event is that the soldiers and volunteers who are with us today have devoted their free time to honour the memory of the soldiers of the Warsaw Uprising. Children and young people also willingly joined in to help. We didn't take part in the battle, but at least now we can pay tribute.
Chciałabym się odwdzięczyć powstańcom.
I would like to thank the Warsaw insurgents and former soldiers who fought for our homeland. Even after their death, they will be remembered in Poland.
Nawet po śmierci.
Przyszedłem dzisiaj w niedzielę.
I came today because the patriots gave their all, and now the least I can do is maintain these graves.
Co ja teraz mogę zrobić?
In our culture, we have great respect for the graves of our ancestors, the heroes who traded their lives for us, being able to speak Polish and say what we think. Here we can express our gratitude and remember them. The Warsaw Uprising took place between the 1st of August and the 2nd of October 1944. During the 63 days of fighting, 150,000 civilians, as well as 18,000 soldiers of the Home Army and other formations, died. After the fall of the uprising, the Germans destroyed the majority of left bank Warsaw.
That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.